The Navy is moving ahead with its medium landing ship. That was the second large announcement from the Secretary of the Navy. This is an article out of the War Zone. This will be the Navy's new landing ship. The Navy hopes to have the first medium landing ship built by 2029 and avoid chronic issues that have plagued its recent shipbuilding efforts. Shipbuilding efforts like the Constellation-class frigate. So let's see what the Secretary of the Navy had to say.
As I announced last week, we are fundamentally reshaping how the Navy builds and fields its fleet. Today, I'm taking the second major step in that effort, selecting the design for our medium landing ship, an operationally driven, fiscally disciplined choice that puts capability in the fleet on a responsible timeline.
For the Marine Corps, the medium landing ship will provide us with an organic littoral mobility capability in the Indo-Pacific and around the world. It provides us with a critical intra-theater maneuver asset that is able to embark, transport, and land Marines, weapons, and supplies and equipment around the theater without requiring access to a pier.
A year ago, the Navy canceled the LSM request for proposals when the conceptual design produced bids that were simply unaffordable. We applied common sense, went back to basics, and reassessed the program. We identified proven in-service designs that meet the Commandant's requirements and then scrutinized them for producibility, performance, and trade-offs.
Last month, with the concurrence of the Commandant and the Chief of Naval Operations, I approved the LSM design selection, the LST-100 landing ship transport, a roughly 4,000-ton ship with a range of more than 3,400 nautical miles that gives us the right balance of capability, affordability, and speed to field.
The LST-100's cargo capacity, helicopter capacity, berthing, and crane make it an excellent choice for the Marine Corps' requirement of no less than 35 medium landing ships to support naval expeditionary forces. The medium landing ships will enable our Marines to be more agile and flexible in austere environments where there are no ports, providing the joint force the needed operational mobility within the adversary's weapons engagement zone.
We are also changing how we do business in shipbuilding, starting from a complete 3D design and working hand in hand with the designer. The Navy is incorporating a disciplined set of class standard equipment so that this ship is maintainable, repairable, and able to meet its operational availability targets in the real world, not just on paper. Once those standards are baked in, the design will be truly production ready, needing only to be tailored to each shipbuilder's specific production process.
This non-developmental, build-to-print approach drives down cost, schedule, and technical risk for both the Navy and industry. Working with Congress, we're embracing commercial practices and speed. We will competitively award a vessel construction manager to oversee the LSM program, drive execution, and facilitate genuine competition among multiple shipyards.
The Marine Corps is fully committed to investing in the medium landing ship program. This platform is critical to ensuring Marines have the mobility required to fight and win in the littorals.
Serving side by side with our Marine Corps brothers and sisters, the Navy is also on board with the LSM program, ensuring that when called upon, we're ready to fight and win today.
The Department will continue to innovate and reform our shipbuilding approach, integrating hard-learned lessons from prior Navy shipbuilding efforts, proven commercial best practices, and streamlined acquisition. President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill and his executive order on restoring America's maritime dominance are cornerstones of our national effort to revitalize and rebuild the American maritime industrial base. It is the dawn of a new age for Navy shipbuilding.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And this vessel is already in service around the world. The Nigerian Navy operates one. So we're giving our Marines and the Navy the means to supply Marines on scattered rocks throughout the Pacific. This is good. I want to bring up a point. This is an article from Defense News, and this is regarding the Marine's new amphibious warship. I want to bring this highlight to you. The Marines don't envision using this vessel during combat operations, the general said. If there are indications a conflict may break out, the combatant commander would order the light amphibious warships or law to quickly relocate Marines or supply units, and then it goes into hiding. It goes into bed down somewhere. Nowhere do we envision the law out transiting the sea lanes in the middle of a kinetic fight. Now, this is for a different program, obviously, but it's also for the same program. The same demands were dictated these designs. The medium landing ship will very likely go into bed down mode and not be used during a conflict. This is a breakdown of what it holds, what it can do, what its range is, and a cutaway of what it looks like. Apparently it has the capacity of 4 blue whales or like 110 Olympic-sized swimming pools or whatever the hell else they want to call it. I've always hated that. But I do find it interesting that this is one of the things that isn't being mentioned. That these medium and light transports will very likely not be used during a kinetic action. So they'll go into bed down mode. So how are these Marines and sailors and airmen and soldiers going to be resupplied? That's an extremely good question because our logistics are not built for this. They're not built for this. And our current doctrine, the Marine Littoral Combat Regiment, where we're going to take regiments of Marines and put them out for area denial in Pacific Islands, in the first island chain, is logistically not feasible, but yet we're going ahead with it. There are means for these Marines to be supplied on these islands that exists today, that has existed for over a decade. The Marines have done some research into this with the seaglider. The seaglider program is an electric, basically it's a float plane. An electric float plane, and they've done some research into this, not a lot, to resupply Marines on these rocks with float planes. They've gone as far as DARPA doing a program for the Liberty Lifter, an Ekranoplan sized plane to lift C-130 sized payloads. I want to show you one of the, I always loved this. This is one of my favorite things I've ever seen. A C-130J converted for amphibious landings. This is how seriously this matter needs to be taken. If your doctrine is to put Marines on rocks in the middle of the ocean, and then when a kinetic war comes, you don't plan on having your medium landing ship or your supply ship go in and supply these Marines, we have a problem. Then we have a problem. And there are means today, right now, that you can use to supply them.
Imagine a boat that glides effortlessly across the waves at 3 times the speed of typical marine craft, getting safely to your destination with style and comfort. The WicketWorks AirFish 8 is a novel convergence of aviation technology and marine craft design. Its unique wing geometry and body structure exploits an aerodynamic phenomenon known as wing in-ground effect. An aircraft experiences ground effect when it flies in close proximity to the ground, producing additional lift from the increased air pressure beneath its wings. Flying above the sea's surface means that the AirFish 8 experiences no hydrodynamic drag, making it fuel efficient. Fuel consumption per mile per passenger is lower than conventional high-speed marine craft at high speed. Classified as a marine craft and powered by a car engine running on unleaded petrol, the AirFish 8 is simple to maintain and inexpensive to operate. With a payload of 1,000 kilograms, the AirFish 8 cruises at up to 90 knots with a range of 250 nautical miles. The AirFish 8 is simpler and safer compared to conventional aircraft. Its inherent aerodynamic stability and mechanical simplicity not only makes crew training quick, it also minimizes the risk of accidents caused by human error. The AirFish 8 can land immediately on the water below it with minimal control input should the need arise. The potential of the AirFish 8 is untapped and limitless. It is ideal for tourism, transport, logistics, and even maritime patrol in regions where infrastructure is limited. The AirFish 8 redefines maritime transportation with wing-in-ground effect technology to make passage to unexploited places more convenient, safe, and fast.
A technology that it's existed for a long time now, is readily available, off the shelf, cheap, 1,000 kilogram payload, and that's in its civilian form. 250 nautical mile range, I'm sure that could be increased. Tweaking and everything else that, you know, these seamen would do with this, because this is a marine craft, so that would be a Navy vessel. You could see hundreds of these going from island to island, transporting supplies, men, logistics, like they said. Maritime patrol, you could turn these into strike craft. There are options out there. And that can be used during a kinetic fight, because if it moves, it's a lot harder to hit. And you're probably not going to use $1 million or $5 million missile on something like that. It's going to be, you're either eyes on or not. So I just wanted to bring your attention that the second major announcement has been made. The medium landing ship, something we do need. 35 of them is a good start. They'll probably be made at the same place that was making the Constellation and other places. And like I said in the former video, I'm sure the USX Defiant class vessel will be the answer for the frigate. So the Navy's moving forward with a different mindset, a mindset that I do like. I'd like to see them think outside the box a little bit more. Something like that AirFish would be just perfect. But I want to thank you. I appreciate you. Have a good night.